welcome to my channel. It's kind of cool because this is kind of the first video that I've ever done involving a channel, so we'll see how it goes. Today, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about like my football history and why I went to Baker. But first, I'm just going to give you a little background about how football came about to me in my life. I think I moved to Texas from Detroit when I was about 8 years old. Didn't know it. I hated football. Played 1 year when I was like 7 in Michigan, and I hated football. We moved to Texas when I was 8. My mom told me how big football was and how big the culture was in Texas, South Texas specifically. When we got down here, so she said basically you're gonna end up playing football. And I was like, okay, I'll give it another shot. So it was crazy because actually our first day landing in Texas, we went around the neighborhood, or not the neighborhood, but the city. We lived in a small little city called Elsa, Texas. And we were just driving around trying to get to know the place, and there was these tryouts for, a little league, little pee-wee league. And, we went and checked it out, and the coach said they needed a quarterback, and I had never played quarterback. My first year of football, I played a running back, and I wasn't a starter, so I hardly played. So basically you could say this was my first time ever playing football for real. So they said they needed a quarterback, and I had always played baseball in the past, so I did have an arm. And so I threw the football around when we went to go meet the coach, and he was saying how good of an arm I had, and asked me if I would like to join the team. And me and my mom talked about it, and we said yeah. And ever since then, it's been history, man. I was about 8 years old, and I played with the 9 and 10 year olds, so they were a little bit older. But honestly, I to this day I praise that, because that's how I got better. And through junior high school, over the years, I just I've gotten a lot better, and it's just crazy how it came about, and how quickly that time came. And but then again, in high school I had a great high school career. I don't think if it wasn't for football, I don't know what I'd be doing right now, honestly. But I'm just gonna go over some memorable moments that happened in the past in high school. One specific one that pops up to me is my game against Edinburgh North, my sophomore year of high school. Never started as a quarterback. So it was a sophomore year of high school, and I had won the starting quarterback job. I was competing against 2 juniors and a senior, and I got the spot. So anyway, this was a big game for us, and it was going back and forth. Great football game. Then in the fourth quarter, we were tied. We ended up scoring, and we tied with the team. So it's the fourth quarter, no time left. We go into overtime. Time runs out. Then it had been raining all game, so we knew it was bound to happen that the lightning was gonna come. So lightning happens to come, and it's overtime. So we take a delay. Everybody goes into the locker rooms. Everybody in the stands, tries to dry off and go to their cars or whatnot. There's a 30-minute delay. And I remember the coach came up to me in the locker room and said, "Hey, we're gonna give you the chance to win this game for us." And I said, What do you mean? He's like, "We're gonna give you the ball, and you gotta score so we can win this game." And at the time, I was, 16? And I had, we had a senior running back, we had a senior receiver, There's plenty other guys on this team that could have won it for us, but the coach chose me. So, and I remember just thinking in my head, like, man, this is huge. Like, I'm gonna get a chance to win this big game for us. And it was a 30-minute delay, and we came out, started warming up and stuff, and it was just one play. Like, we just had one more play. And so I remember we were tied, and we had to score the extra point. We had to go for 2, so to win the game. And so we came out at halftime. After that delay, and the play was to me. And I remember just being on the field, getting ready to snap the ball and say hut, and one of our guys jumps offsides. So it was a penalty, a flag. So we moved back 5 yards, and now we're like 15 yards away from the end zone, which makes my job even harder. So I remember we huddle up and call the play again. We get to the line, and I'm getting ready to say hut, and I'm just thinking, like, man, this is huge. This is it right here. So I remember snapping the ball and just running behind my blockers. And I get to the end zone, and as soon as I get to the end zone, I reach out and I fall, and they tackle me. And I just look up, and I just see the ref pick his hands up, and we score. And that was just a great moment for me to know that the coach trusted me and put his faith in me to win the game for us. And I will never forget that moment. That's probably the play that actually got my name out and got my name exposure, because if it wasn't for that moment and that play, I don't know what would happen after that. So that's one of the memorable moments I had in high school. Another one actually that jumps out is let's see. It's actually Mercedes, our rival team. The biggest game of the week, biggest game of the year for us. Stands were packed. Everybody was there, even if they weren't from the cities that we were playing against. Other people from other cities were coming in to watch the game. That's how big of a game this was. Both sides were just packed. And it was a game of the week, I remember, and it was a good game. They had a good team, we had a good team. It was a good game. And I remember we were in the middle of the field, and we needed to score. We were down by a few points, and we needed to score. And I remember snapping the ball, and I catch it, run to the right, make a little move, and then I just took off untouched. I ran it all the way, and it was a touchdown. And I remember just looking up at our stands, like everybody was just going nuts, going crazy. So we ended up after that, we ended up losing that game, I think 22-19. That game I will never forget. I was a sophomore then, and that's just one memorable moment that I will never forget the rest of my life. That game was that was a big game and a wake-up call for me personally, because that was a rival team, and we don't lose. You don't lose to your rival team because it's tradition. You just don't. And we ended up losing that game, I remember. And I just remember the feeling that we had, and it just wasn't, it wasn't a good feeling, in other words. But, I will always be thankful for that moment, because, that was the first big loss we had. And, we don't want to feel like that ever again. So we played the next game, balls out, hearts out, and left everything on the table. And those are just two moments that early on in my high school career that I just wanted to share with you guys. So stay tuned, there is more to come. So thank you, I appreciate it.